the Romossaince was short-lived. The Dallas Cowboys brought back their once-injured, since-deposed starter Tony Romo in Sunday's meaningless Week 17 game against the Philadelphia Eagles to much pomp, circumstance and fanfare. After being sidelined for 4 months by injury and being discussed more than 99% of guys who were actually playing in 2016, it was almost surreal to see Romo on the field. And then, poof, he was gone. Dak Prescott started and played 2 series for the boys before getting pulled for Romo, who played for 1 series before third-stringer Mark Sanchez came in to finish out the game. It all begs the simple question, why? Getty Images. Tony was pretty okay, at least as much as you can tell from a 4-pass, 6-play, 2-minute drive. That's biggest moment was a 29-yard pass interference. Romo was 3 for 4 for 29 yards and had that long pie set up a 3-yard touchdown pass. If you'd closed your eyes you could have imagined it was 2014, with Romo marching down the field against an overmatched NFC East opponent. And since it's no longer December, Romo's success was extra realistic. Let's think this through from the point of Jason Garrett, or the puppeteer deftly manipulating his strings. You put in Dak Prescott for 2 series. The benefit of this is what, exactly? The upside is nil. There's zippy chance that Prescott taking 15 snaps on January 1st without his fellow rookie Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield will have any bearing on how Prescott will play on January 15th in his playoff debut in a divisional playoff game at Jerry World. If you want to play your guys, play them. Other than injury risk, which is a big other, to be sure, there seems to be zero correlation between playing hard through Week 17 and playoff success, just as there's none between resting players and having that same success. It's all situational. But this wishy-washy 2-possession nonsense, that's clearly a don't get hurt situation, can only be a detriment. Tony Romo will be Dak Prescott's backup in the playoffs. Romo will be somewhere else besides Dallas in 2017. Which of these facts was more important in deciding how Dallas would use Romo in Week 17? If you want to give Romo some reps before he potentially has to come in and take snaps for a dinged-up Prescott, or, worst-case scenario, best-case scenario for some, has to fully take over for a seriously injured Prescott, then great. But what's the point of 1 possession? This isn't the first preseason game for a guy building his way toward Week 1. Romo is theoretically game rusty. If the Cowboys think there's a chance he will need to play in 2 or 3 weeks, don't you want him to play a little, take a hit or 2 and be as prepared as you can get him outside of taking some first-team reps in practice? Or was this a showcase situation, a sign to other NFL teams that Romo's back injuries haven't left him frail and decrepit? This offseason, the Cowboys will be seeking to trade Romo, who has a reasonable $14 million base salary in 2017 but will be 37 with a history back issues, which is kryptonite to all athletes, from golfers to players in a sport in which 280-pound defenders come at you full speed trying to plant you in the turf. Guesses are all over the place as to how much Dallas could get for Romo, from a 2nd-round pick to something as low as a 6th. Letting teams know he can still wing it isn't a bad idea. But are teams really going to leave their future, even if it's a 1-year flyer, to 4 passes from a meaningless late December game? I guess that sounds like something Houston might do after its Brock Osweiler infatuation, but won't the Texans be paying Brock Osweiler too much to do so? And since other teams won't be swayed by 149 of football, why do it? It's especially vexing because Romo was playing without the team's star running back and most of its star offensive line. The Cowboys were giving him a test drive of a different car than the one he might need to drive in the postseason. And if the answer is that Dallas didn't want him to get injured, then why risk it at all, particularly with the aforementioned protectors sitting on the sideline? And if you're worried about Romo's health for the playoffs, why did you start Prescott? It's all so much it makes your head hurt. As does this, though he was awful, 2 INTs, in double replacement, the guy who took over for Prescott and Romo, the aforementioned Mr. Sanchez, has 2 more conference championship game appearances than the 2 QBs ahead of him on the depth chart. Basically what I'm saying is Dallas might have just unintentionally prepped the world for Mark Sanchez, Super Bowl MVP. VP.